Today on this edition of Life After Sight Loss TV, we're going to talk about some of the times when your eyesight can shift and actually seem like it's getting worse. What's up, VIPs? Derek here, back with another edition of Life After Sight Loss TV, where it's all about helping you discover life after sight loss. On this channel, we do product reviews, life advice, encouragement, how-tos, and so much more. So if you're new here and that sounds good to you, consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss another single video. When you go through sight loss, you become keenly aware that losing vision is very, very possible. And so anytime your sight starts to shift a little bit, it can cause some panic in your mind, because all of a sudden you're like, am I losing more? Is this happening again? Is there something I can do? You start to panic a little bit. But what I found is there are actually some very normal times in our daily lives where our sight shifts a little bit based on our environment and what's going on within us and things like that. And so from my own experience and from others that I've talked to, I just wanted to share a few of those moments here today to kind of give you an idea of what to look forward to and be prepared for when it comes to your sight being a little bit shifty. Now, bear in mind that I'm not a medical professional, and this is not a professional diagnosis of sight shifting or anything like that. Please always remember that if you need any professional, medical, legal, any advice like that, always seek out a specialist in your area. This is just from my own experience and from others I've talked to, so take it from that perspective when you watch this video. So the first thing that can make your sight be a bit shifty is weather change. Today I'm outside here, it's late September, and the weather is starting to change. It's cooler outside, the leaves are falling, the air is a bit different, and I have found that whenever weather changes, especially if it changes quickly, my sight can be a bit shifty. It tends to adapt after a couple of days and it's fine, but when the sun is different, when the wind is different, when the trees are different, when your environment changes like that, it can affect your vision. So during this time of year and during winter, summer, spring, all those changes, be prepared because your sight might get a bit shifty. The second time that your sight can change a bit is when you first wake up. Now, maybe you've experienced this even when you were sighted. You wake up, you rub the eyes, and you're looking out, and it's a bit hazy. Well, that's the same thing even if you have sight loss. Your eyesight can be a bit worse. I know when I wake up in the morning and I come out and, my kids are getting on the bus and so forth, it takes me a little bit to get, my sort of full faculties going with the limited vision I have left. I kind of know what it's supposed to look like, and when it doesn't, I know that something's a bit off. So I always give myself a little time, have myself a cup of coffee, and get used to it, and it's really okay. But when you first wake up, again, your sight can be a bit shifty. The third time your sight can change a bit is when you're not feeling very well, when you're physically sick. This could be a cold, a sinus infection. This could be some sort of thing you caught, a bug. It can be a lot of things. Even just when you're exhausted and not feeling very well, your sight can change. I have found that when I run a fever or when I'm very tired, something of that nature, my sight just seems a bit down from where it normally is. But that's very normal for when you're not feeling well. So the next time you're sick or not feeling well or on medication or whatever, be prepared because your sight might change just a bit, but it's probably going to be okay. And finally, the time when I have found that my vision changes a bit is when I exercise. Now, exercise can do this a lot of times. You have blood pumping, maybe your oxygen is a bit low because you're running and you're like, you're breathing heavy, that sort of thing. Exercise can do that, but it's okay. Exercise is a good thing and it won't affect it forever. Now, again, depending on your disease and your reason for losing your sight, always check with your doctor on this, but I think exercise can be a really good thing. Being healthy is important, but just be prepared because your sight might change a bit as your body is reacting to your exercise. So there you go, guys. Just a few times in your everyday life when your sight might change a little bit, might get a little worse, might be a little shifty, but it's probably going to be okay because these are fairly normal. And remember that if anything changes in your eyesight and it concerns you, always go see your medical professional. That way you can get a professional diagnosis and you can say, hey, this is happening, and they can let you know if it's serious or if it's something that just happens on a normal basis, like the things we talked about today. Hey, my question for you today is this: When does your sight seem to shift? Does it change? Does it get worse? What happens? What are you doing? What are the factors that affect it? I'd love to hear about it, and I know others would as well, so let me know in the comments below. Hey, if you liked this video, if you found it helpful, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, share it with somebody you know, and smash that subscribe button so you don't miss another single video. Thank you so much for watching this edition of Life After Sight Loss TV, and until next time, remember that sight loss isn't the end, it's just the beginning. My name's Derek Daniel from LifeAfterSightLoss.com, and I'll see you in the next one.